Carolyn Zook here with Seasick Stitch, and today is Sunday, actually, December 11th, 2022. Welcome to my channel about cross stitch. I'm so glad that you are here spending part of your day or your evening with me. Hopefully you saw my message on Facebook. You can post messages, or not Facebook, YouTube, where you can post messages to your community. I completely forgot last week that to mention that I had final exams Saturday morning, so I was not able to film yesterday. I did, my students just had to do presentations, so it wasn't, excuse me, like an exam or anything, but they did their presentations. I ran to Acorns pretty quick. It was a pretty quick trip. And then I came home and I just crashed. So that does mean that classes are officially over. I have a ton of grading to do. That's on me. I left a lot of it. I got behind partway through the semester and just never really caught up. So that is what I'll be doing today after I film this video, is I'll be grading. So yay, we are so close. So close to the end of the semester, which I'm thrilled about. My students were wonderful. They were an amazing class this semester. So it was a really nice way to kind of wrap up. I don't even want to say it wasn't necessarily difficult. It was just a lot. It was a lot. But it was all good. So that's where I was yesterday. So I apologize. I forgot to mention that in last week's video, but it all worked out. Hopefully you were able to see the gift guide and that you enjoyed that. Again, I'm behind on comments, par for the course, but now that I don't have to prepare for classes and lectures and all that, I'm hoping to get a little bit of my time back. So let's, hopefully you enjoyed that gift guide and got some ideas. I think that's everything from the week. It was just a regular, end of the week, or end of the semester week. And now it's just the grading marathon until grades are due, which is great. All right, let's get into it. The stitching this week. I had a new start. It is Let Love Rain by Teresa Kogut. And I started this for two reasons. One, I started it for Miss Dina of Half Stitch Cross Stitch for her birthday. This is my Sunday piece in the month of December. This is what it looks like. It says, "Let love reign in your heart and home." Beautiful, beautiful. And this is the book. It's a book. It comes with 3 charts by Teresa Kogut. This is also the Garon Focus on a Designer for the month of December is Teresa Kogut. So I thought that was an excellent way to celebrate Dina as well as work on a Teresa Kogut, because I have several of her charts, but I don't believe I've ever stitched on any of hers. Oh, and you're going to ask me what this is. Okay, so this is quite a big piece. So here's my start anyway. I was able to turn on my ring light today, so I don't know. It's kind of... Here's my start. This is just one Sunday working on it. Excuse me. I am stitching this on... I guess I thought I had fabric in my stash. Excuse me. I mean, I did. Clearly. This is a random piece of fabric that's giant. I need to cut it down. Look how much extra fabric. I mean, some of this will be taken up because it is a large chart. I'm using all the called for threads, and I don't know, this fabric was a really large piece. It's kind of like a really pale yellow that I had in my stash. I think maybe Robin, did you send it to me? Robin from Bird's Eye Stitches here on Flosstube. She might have sent it to me a long time ago, but it was the only piece of fabric I had that was big enough. And I believe that fabric is either 28 or 32 count, because this piece, on 28 count, the design size is 21 by essentially 28 stitches or inches, And then you have to add 6 inches to that for your 3-inch border. 32 count, it would be 18 3/8 by 24 3/8. So it's a big piece. And I've done the Fabric of the Month clubs, but those are all fat quarters, and they're not big enough for this. So this is where I'm at. I was stitching it, and I kind of don't love the brown, and I actually thought, could I change out the brown flowers? And I even pulled out my DMC thread book to take a look and just see. And I don't know. I mean, I ordered some DMC, some pinks, but I don't know. Nothing really looked as good as what she did here. I'm just kind of thinking, like, do I want to de-brown it a bit? Because it is quite brown and blue. There is blue in there as well, which I love. But so I don't know. If you've stitched this or changed out any of those colors, if you can let me know what colors you chose, that would be great. I've decided I need one of those little rolling 3-tier carts. I'm pointing right here so that I can then set stuff in it. Okay, so that was my new start. I will work on that on Sundays during the month of December to celebrate Dina and the Garon Focus on a Designer. Okay, moving on. I worked on my 25/7 piece. Is by Tiny Modernist. It's called Woodland Christmas, and this is just says it's part 1. I'm in the Crazy Annie's club. This is the first chart, and I haven't received my second chart yet, but I think it'll be coming soon because I just got I paid the invoice. And with this, you can get the fabric if you want. You can get the threads if you want. You can get needle minders, all that good stuff. I just ordered the charts and then the threads, the thread pack. That's all I got because I had fabric at home. This is 28 count Dove Gray, and this is where I've gotten to. So I'll explain how I got this far. I don't know why this takes a long time. It's deceptively a lot of stitching. I had to rip out this border because I forgot. You see that one little stitch right there at the bottom of that holly leaf? Yeah, I forgot that one little stitch. So I had to rip out all this and restitch it. And that, 25 minutes, that can easily take up 25 minutes. But I got further on this last night because I'll explain. I pulled out a piece to work on a current whip and decided I wanted to restart it, but I didn't have the fabric at home. So I said, you know what, I'm just going to work on this for the full stitching time. So I was able to get the stocking done, and this is supposed to be a tulip in there. Kay on Facebook, I stole this idea from Kay. She replaced it with a snowflake, which I loved. And so I copied Kay. Because I really think the snowflake, I'm not sure why there's a tulip. Because tulips are a spring flower, aren't they? I mean, I don't know anything about flowers, but so, yeah, so what I have left, so the stocking is done. I have one more tree over here to put in. And then I have 3 or 4 snowflakes and a tree or 2 to put in. And then this piece will be done. Now I'm doing them all on one big piece of fabric. So as soon as the other one comes in, we'll maybe get started on that. But I think it's really cute. It's really come together really, really nicely. And thank you, Kay, for that idea of putting that snowflake in there. I probably, if I could redo it, I would move it down a stitch or 2, but I am not going to rip out that stocking just to move that snowflake down. I think it looks fine. It's fine as it is. So mostly this is just 25/7, except last night where I worked on it for quite a while. 3.5 hours, I think. So that's where we're at on Woodland Christmas. Love it. I think it's so great. I know Candy from the 614 Stitcher is also working on this. So that's a fun one. This is mostly a nice, easy one. Although I will say my threads were shredding in this poinsettia there. They were just shredding. And I don't know if I was just being a little rough trying to take them off the card that they were on, or if, this is 28 count Dove Gray, but it is a pretty tightly woven fabric. So I did go to a bigger needle, which seemed to help on that piece. Okay. I also worked on Glory to the Newborn King. This got 2 days of stitching. This is my theme for the Magazine Monthly Challenge. The theme for this month is Razzle Dazzle, which is super fun to say. I'm actually quite proud of that theme. It's just fun to say. So, Glory to the Newborn King, which is this piece, I'll show you a closer up picture, is in Stony Creek Cross Stitch. This is the Autumn 2020 issue, and this is what the cover looks like. And then this is what the piece will look like. So I actually, you can't, do you see those snowflakes on there? Those are all beads. So I don't have that done, but I did get down to here. So everything Christmas and above is pretty much done. I'll explain in a minute. And so, I mean, it actually seems like it's going to go pretty fast. I might add this to my year of whips to finish this piece next year, because that would be amazing. Okay, so I use this, 1, to complete my yearly goal on this piece, 2, for the theme for this month, which is Razzle Dazzle, and then also the acrostic is Twinkle, and so this is for the N in Twinkle, which is for newborn. Okay, and this is, I'm stitching on 28 count R&R Creme Brulee. This is fabric that Robin found at Goodwill in her area and sent me some. And it's perfect. Look how perfectly this piece was meant for this fabric. So that's as wide as it will be. That's it. And the fabric, I mean, is very long. It won't take up all of that, but the width is just absolutely perfect. So like I said, everything from Christmas up is pretty much done. I backstitch as I go on this one. You will see, so you see the backstitching from the STMAS is done. I need to do backstitching for the cry part. I did not get to that, and it's backstitched in, you can't really see, you can see a little bit of sparkle. It's a sparkly red, and I use 2 strands for that. I think you're only supposed to use 1, but it's just easier for me to use 2 strands, and I like it. The only thing is I messed up on this A. Do you see that little extra stitch sticking up? That little stitch isn't supposed to be there, and I'm trying to figure out how to take it out without like having to restitch the whole A. So if you have any ideas, or if you would just leave it, let me know. I don't know. It's kind of sticking out there, right? Like it doesn't look correct because it's not correct. And then there's a couple little, do you see this little swiggle? There's a couple other little swiggle things I have to add in. But that's a blend. It's with 1 strand of DMC and then like a blending filament. You know how much I love working on blending filaments. So I will do that, and then we'll be ready to move on. And I think like this top part was a lot of stitching. But I think if I focus on the rest, because there's a lot of words, and I think I can get this done next year. And I think it'd be beautiful. There's a lot of beading, but I'll do that at the very end. So love this. Really, really happy with it. And yeah, I think I'm going to add it to my year of whips, which means I need 1 more, which I have an idea for, because I want an even number of whips, because that's a group that's going to be starting in 2023, run by Melanie of Soulful Stitching. She will be coming out with a video this month. I'm not sure when, explaining all the rules and everything. But essentially, you have an even number of whips, and the goal is to complete half of them by the end of the year. The minimum is 6. 6 whips on your list, so you have to finish 3 to be entered for the drawing, essentially. But you can go more than that if you want to. So I think I'm at 10 right now. I think I'm gonna add that one to my list. And then I think the other one I wanted to add was the Thanksgiving Fairy. Just because that's I just don't want that one to linger. So I think I'm gonna add those 2 to my whip list. So then I'll have 12. So in order to be entered into the drawing, I need to finish 6 of them, which seems very reasonable to me. I'm going to try to finish all 12 though, but we'll just see what happens with that, right? Okay, next up was Death by Cross Stitch. This is my long dog, one of my long dogs. And this I stitched on for, this is a Whipco call for this month. So I completed my 12 hours. This is what it will look like. I am like up in this area. I work down in here. So I'm up right like here and here, I guess. Which is not far. I feel like I say this every time, but I feel like I've been working on this forever. And it's just such slow progress. But I love it. I am stitching this on a 32 count Silvery Moon Lugana. And I will show you the whole thing where I'm at and then give you a close up. So I am using the same colors that I'm using for Hoity Toity, which is the Jan Hicks Creates color conversion for Hoity Toity. I'm using the same colors, just kind of putting them in wherever. Okay, so let me show you kind of where I worked this time. Okay, so last time I pulled this out, I had to frog out part of this border. So I did put this little blue border back in, these 2 lines, and then I extended this border over. This was already done. I did start to bring, I guess this little border with the little checkered line, I did put that in and then started to bring this down. So this is basically a mirror image over here. And then I worked down here. So you can't really tell, but inside each of these pink things is some back stitching in each of those open areas. I don't know if you can tell that it's even in there. I spent a good chunk of time putting that. Did I finish that? Yeah, I did. Okay. Putting that back stitching in, which you can't really tell on the screen. But inside each of these, there is a lot of back stitching. So I did do that. I think I finished this row here. I put in these 2 are brand new. So this row, this is all new. And then I worked on extending this a little bit, but not too much. So that was 12 hours of work. I mean, it's slow going, but it's so fun. And it's just so fun because you're seeing the scene come to life right before your eyes. And so it's really fun. I can't believe how long it's taking me. I would like to get across the top because I am deceptively thinking, well, once I get across the top, I'll show you what my original goal was going to be this year. Which was funny. I wanted to get across here, including down this part right here, which I haven't even touched yet, and down through the, was that Pegasus, maybe? I don't know. Unicorn with wings? So then I would have all that done. Because I'm deceptively thinking, it'll go so much faster once I get down here. It will not. It will not. Look at all that. There's a ton of stitching. Look at this. There's a ton of stitching there. There's a ton of stitching in here. But maybe what I can do is kind of try to focus on getting this top kind of third done. And then this row is a nice row. Like it's a very clear, that would be the following year. And then really focus on getting that bottom, well, it's bottom third almost done. So that's where we're at with Death by Cross Stitch. And I can't even complain about it because it's literally called Death by Cross Stitch, right? Like you'd be like, oh my God, it takes so long. Well, it is called Death by Cross Stitch. You can't say she didn't warn you. So that was my Whipco piece. So I have literally one more Whipco piece and I will have completed my entire Whipco board, which I'm so excited about. Okay, so here's something I want to talk to you about for a minute. So last night, because I didn't film yesterday, so last night on my chart, or on my plans, I guess I should say, was to stitch one more day on this piece called A Christmas Celebration. It is a cross decor kit I got off of Amazon. This was my first piece back to stitching. When, like, in 2018, August of 2018, I was like, I need to stitch immediately. So I ordered this kit off of Amazon. I have not worked on it a whole lot. I had one more day. My goal on this was 15 hours for this year. And my goal, I had one more day to work on it in December. So I was like, I'm going to do that. And so I pulled it out last night to work on. And I was like, I just don't want to work on this. I just really don't. And I'm trying to sit there and I'm thinking, so this is where I'm at. Just quite a bit done. I mean, comparison, I mean, there's still a lot to do, and I just kept thinking, like, what is it? What is it about this piece? Because I love the image. What is it about this piece that I don't like? Well, I'm using all the kit floss and fabric, and I think they give you the DMC numbers. They also have a different number, so I'm not 100% sure if it is DMC or if they're just using the DMC number coloring. And this fabric just kind of rips the threads to shreds. I've tried a bigger needle and it's still, I think it's just a combination. I mean, this is Ada. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. The holes seem pretty good. It just, I'm not happy with it. I don't like working on it. And because it's kit fabric, well, and also I started this, I didn't know what I was doing. I mean, I gave, it looks like a 2-inch border maybe. And I don't know, I mean, I for sure did not use a cross stitch calculator to make sure where to start on this. So I am kind of nervous also that, like, did I leave too much space, not enough space? Can it be framed? Like, you know, all those things. So I decided I was not going to work on this one more day. So that's instead I worked on Woodland Christmas all of last night. And I've decided I'm going to restart this. I like it enough that I want to restitch it. I'm going to order even weave. I'm going to, I mean, I don't know. It's a shame because these threads, I'll look and see if I think they're DMC, if they're similar colors. Then I will use them. If not, I'll just buy the DMC and see. And I'm going to restart it. Probably not till January, but I think I'm going to enjoy it a lot more if I restart it. I did put this on my Bringo board several times. So I do want to restart it. I do want to stitch it, but this goal is not going to be completed this year because one day short, which is a shame. But I want to restart it. So I'm going to restart it. That's going to be a restart. Okay. Let's go into some haul. So I got, of course, last Saturday, right after I finished filming, I went and checked my mail. I should do that before I film. And I got, sorry about the crinkle. I got my Garon Thread of the Month Club threads from Cottage Garden Threads. And the theme for this month is browns. Oh my gosh, look how pretty they are. So we got hot coffee. Beautiful. We got wheat. That's pretty. We got slate. Blackwood. That's pretty, like red brown. And last but not least, carrot seed. So really pretty. I'll put those in my stash. Acorns. I mostly went to drop off my Winter Friends Welcome for framing. So did that, found a great frame. Super excited. I picked up Winter Rose Manor. This is by With Thy Needle. I'm starting this with Jan. I have a copy of this somewhere. I cannot find it. We're starting this, I think, on the first day of winter, I think. I have the threads. Yeah, I'm using the Vicki Clayton Silks. So I have the threads. I could not find my pattern. So when I do find my pattern, that will be a giveaway. So I picked that up. So that was not super exciting. That was kind of like, I know I already bought this, but anyway. And then I bought a Crafty Corey bag because this was kind of my, like, you know what, I just finished giving finals to my students. My work is about halfway from between my house and Acorns. So I'm like, I'm already halfway there. I was telling my mom, I'm going to waste gas money if I don't go to Acorns because I'm already halfway there. And she's like, uh-huh. So when I walked in, I saw this beautiful bag by Corey, who makes these bags for Acorns. I'll show you. You can get a better sense of the fabric when I turn it around. And today is Corey's birthday, so happy birthday, sweet Corey. And these beautiful zipper pull, which I think is just lovely. And so here's the back. It's stitching fabric. So, I mean, it's printed on, but it looks like stitching, which I think is really beautiful. And I love it. And then she has the little X's on the inside. So, love this. This might be a good bag for a sampler or something. So I picked that up. And that's basically all I got. So, pretty small haul. The other thing I got in the mail is I got my Stitch Quarterly. So I know not everyone has their Stitch Quarterly yet. I am going to show it. So maybe skip ahead a few minutes if you don't want the surprise to be ruined. This is the December Stitch Quarterly. Okay, so just zip through if you don't want to see it. Okay, so we got this really pretty kind of candy cane Christmassy bag, which I think is really cute. I like the size. It's a nice size of a bag. And then inside, well, I haven't taken everything out yet because I just got it. Okay, so the chart is called Lady Claus, and it is by It's So Emma. Isn't that cute? It's Mrs. Claus winking at you. So I think that's cute. You get everything you need. You get the DMC. You get the, it says it's a green opalescent 14 count Aida. You get the needle minder. And then you get, it's called the Unstitcher. It's like a picker. It's not a seam ripper. It's like a sharp picker to undo your stitches, which I think is really cute. And then, oh, I already said the needle minder, which is the same image. Really, really cute. I think that's everything in here. Like I said, I haven't even opened it yet. But I think these are really fun. I really enjoy getting these in the mail. And it's only once a quarter, so it's not like you're paying for it every single month. And you get this really nice bag, which I think is fun. You could stitch something on it if you wanted to. This one I like just kind of plain. I think they're just really pretty bags. So I got that in the mail. And that's all my haul. I need a drink of coffee. Here's my mug. It's a Starbucks from a few years ago. My shirt says Flosstube Junkie. I just got it on Amazon. If you just go to Amazon and search Flosstube Junkie. I bought it for StitchCon this year because I wasn't sure if it's going to be hot or cold in the room. And it's like a long sleeve t-shirt. I don't have many long sleeve t-shirts, so I picked this up. Turns out I was very warm in the room with 300 people. Okay, so that's all my haul. I'm looking around to make sure. Yes, that's all my haul. Okay, plans. Christmas celebration, I already talked about. I'm going to restart it. And I probably won't restart it until January under Bringo. Instead, Robin and I decided to do another new start together. So when she was here, it was so much fun. First of all, Robin came for the Pacific Northwest Stitch Summit in September, I think it was. And we just sat in my craft room and we looked through all of my charts and all of my kit. I have a whole big drawer of kitted or partially kitted projects ready to go, which I should really focus on getting through. It's actually that drawer right there, and it's stuffed full. My argument is that the reason why it's stuffed full is because kitted up projects are quite bulky. That's my argument. Anyway, Robin fell in love with two Dimensions gold kits that I have. And she ended up getting them as an early Christmas present. So and she said, I'm going to start this one right away. It is called A Treasured Time. It actually reminds me quite a bit of a celebration of Christmas. This is what it looks like. Oh, sorry, I bumped you. We are going to start this together. She might even start it this weekend. I am going to replace the fabric, actually. Because, it's a Dimensions Gold kit, so it's probably fine. I should probably look. But since I just don't want to have to restart it. It looks like it's fine. Like, trust the dimensions gold. It's just, am I going to enjoy stitching on it? So when I rebuy the fabric for a Christmas celebration, I'll probably just buy new fabric for this. But it has the threads, it has the fabric, and all that. So it's mostly full coverage. There are some little pieces up here in the sky that are not stitched. So you can kind of see the fabric colors, like this blue gray. It said in here what color it was, but when I was looking through it last night. But anyway, so I'll have to get kind of some type of blue gray that would kind of be winter sky-ish. This one, I think, one of these will fit on a fat quarter. So I might actually even just look through my stash and see what I have to use this. I mean, it's mostly full coverage, so I hate to use a piece that I have like an over-dyed or hand-dyed piece of fabric, but you know, I have it. Why buy new? So we're going to start that. I probably won't start this till later in the month. But I just wanted to talk about, that's kind of everything that came out of me pulling out a Christmas celebration last night was, I want to restart this. I watched Robin's video. If you haven't watched her latest video, go ahead and watch it. I'll link it down below, or link her channel down below. And then she was talking about that, and I'm like, well, that's clearly a sign that I need to start that one as well. So, okay, so for this week then, I'm going to work on Let Love Rain today. I'm going to continue working on Woodland Christmas as my 25/7 piece. That should be finished by the time I talk with you next week. Let Love Rain this week. My last Whip Go call for the year is one more on Christmas at Acorns Hollow. I really want to finish this block. I'm hoping I'm on block 2 only, but I really hope I can get that done. This is by Carriage House Samplings. I am stitching this on 32 count Vanilla Latte by Stitch Me. It is what I am stitching all of my Acorns Hollows on. And this is where I'm at from last month. So I need to build this house. It's like a mirror image of this one over here. There's like a firework or something up here. We're getting it done. I think I can finish this block this week. So that will feel good. A good way to end 2022. I have 2 out of the what is it, 12 blocks? Yeah, 2 out of the 12 blocks done on this piece, but you know, slow and steady. So I'm going to work on that. And then the other piece I'm going to pull out is Princess Ileana by Mirabilia. And this I also restarted. I'm not ashamed to restart, you guys. This is what it looks like. This is, I always think of this as the new piece because it calls for all of the new DMCs, the 1 through 35. Yeah, 1 through 35. So that's fun. Oh, look, I have my note card. My intent is to put a note card in each of my projects. And at this point, I'm at the point where I'm like more surprised when I do have it than when I don't. So I started this January 4th. That's the restart date. I'm stitching this on a 32 count Parthenon by Color and Cotton. I am slightly concerned because there are beads. So I am concerned about the 32 count because usually you want 28 count. We'll see how it goes. I already bought the bead kit, but we'll see. So this is where I'm at. It doesn't look like much. It's just kind of in her dress. So I think I'm just working on this one more day to complete my yearly goal on this piece. And then she'll go away till next year. But yeah, that one's fun. You know, it's fun to have a mirror on the go. And the colors are just so, let me show you. Like, look at this. Aren't these colors just beautiful? Like, it just makes me want to grab it and stitch it. So yeah, so I'll be working on that for one day. And that's it. Those are my plans. I think that's everything. I will be back next Saturday, I think. I should be. And next Saturday will be the start of a little bit of a break for me, which I'm very, very excited about. So if you have, I wanted to talk really briefly, I guess, about Bringo. I meant to talk about it last week, and I forgot. So let me talk about it. I did talk about it. If you didn't see Sambry Stitches, she interviewed me, and it was so much fun to sit and chat with her. She's up in the Seattle area, and we met at the Pacific Northwest Stitch Summit. She's a total sweetheart. It was such a joy to get to talk to her and get to know her a little bit, but she interviewed me for her channel. So make sure you check that out. I'll link her down below as well and check out her channel. She just uploaded, I haven't had a chance to watch it yet, but like a decorating for Christmas video, which what a great piece to just sit and stitch and get in the holiday spirit. So I want to talk a little bit about Bringo. So Bringo is something that Robin and we co-run a Facebook group called Magazine Monthly Cross Stitch Challenge. I always forget that cross stitch because we had to put in the cross stitch. Originally we were just Magazine Monthly Challenge group. We got a lot of very weird spammers. So we put the word cross stitch in, and then we have less weird spammers trying to get into our group. Still some, but a lot less. And so every January we do a month-long challenge called Bringo. It is very similar, if you were with us, to the September challenge AB Singo, where you have a bingo board and you fill it in with projects. And each evening I will call a number for the following day. And the goal is that you work on that piece for 1 hour or 100 stitches, whichever you count. If you count stitches, if you count time, and then you can mark it off. Now, one of the things about our group is that you can enter to win. We have prizes at the end of the month. You can enter to win even if you only get one bingo, 5 in a row, vertically, horizontally, or diagonally. Even if you only get one of those, you're still entered to win. If you get 3 of them, you get 3 entries to win. If you get a blackout, we have a separate prize category for the blackouts. So even if you can't commit to the whole month, if you could say, hey, maybe I can get 5 in a row, you can still participate, which I think is really fun. And we want to make it as accessible to as many people because we know everybody's lives are different. Some people have a lot of time to stitch. I feel like I'm one of those. Even though I work full time, I have my evenings pretty much almost always free to stitch because I don't have kids. I'm not running around. My family doesn't live in town, right? So I don't have those same responsibilities that somebody else might have, right? Some people are retired so they can stitch more during the day. Some people really can only stitch on the weekends. So we try to make it as accessible for as many types of kind of lifestyles as possible. So the big difference between AB Singo and Bringo is that with Bringo, it's BRR, like burr, because where we live, it's cold in January. So that was kind of where Bringo kind of came from. It's like burr. So is that for Bringo, we give you actual prompts. So we might say, stitch on your oldest whip. Stitch on your smallest whip, that type of thing. So we have prompts. AB Singo is like a giant acrostic, essentially, where it's take every letter of the alphabet. We're going to eliminate one letter. It's a different letter each year. And you make it fit like you do with the monthly acrostics. So the big difference is we give you actual prompts. Now, you can reuse projects for multiple prompts for both Bringo and AB Singo. For example, and I'll talk more about this maybe next week maybe next week, I'll talk about the actual pieces that I'm working to fit the prompts because I do have my board pretty much set. I have 6 whips. 6. What's wrong with it? Oh my gosh. Can you say it's the end of the semester? I have 6 whips. 6 whips that I have made fit on this board for me. Which means that those whips are going to get multiple days of work on them, which I'm really excited about. The other thing is that we call numbers for 25 days because your bingo board is 5 across by 5 down. But we give you until the end of the month to complete your board. So if you need those extra, in January would be 5 or 6 extra days, I think, to do any catch up that you need to do. All right. So if you have a trip planned or something like that, where you're sick or something where you get a little behind, you can still catch up in those 6 days at the end of the month and still be entered to win a prize, right? So it runs all month long, even though we are only calling numbers for 25 days. So I do call it the evening before. So we have people all around the world. And so when I call it in the evening, it's already, like, I know we have a lot of friends in Australia. It's already afternoon the next day in Australia. And also I'm on the West Coast. So we're kind of in the earlier time zone. And so it seems to work well that I call it the day before. And I'll give you an example. So this is what my bingo board looks like. You can get this template, a blank template, on our Facebook. And you could join the event on our Facebook. So it starts January 1. So I'll make the first call on December 31 to stitch on for January 1. So this is what my board looks like. And then next week, maybe I'll go over the projects and show you how I fit them in with the prompts and all of that. But if that sounds something that you want to do, even if you can only do it partially, right? Again, like I said, you're entered to win even if you only get one bingo. So, and it's 100 stitches or 1 hour of stitching for each box, each call. So I do hour because I track my time. And what I have decided to do, the way I have set up my projects, is that I'm just going to stitch on them. That's just going to be my stitching for the evening. So I will, hopefully my goal will be to get 3 hours on each call, but I don't need to, right? Not that I'm eligible to be entered to win anyway, but it's just a fun challenge. We enjoy it. I hope that answers some questions that people have had about Bringo. It's very similar to ABC-Go. Really the primary difference, again, is just that we give you the prompts instead of you kind of using the ABC-Go acrostic. So that's really the biggest difference, and it's really, really fun, and it's a great challenge for starting in January, and you just kind of start fresh, and maybe you touch projects you didn't get to touch in 2022. Maybe that's a goal of yours. For me, I'm trying to think, some of mine are projects that are goals for me to finish, because I've heard a lot of people saying, oh, I need to focus on finishes for 2023. So a lot of my projects are, hey, these pieces that I want to finish in 2023. That's what a lot of them are. So yeah, I hope that helps. Let me know if you have questions. I should be getting back to comments soon. Otherwise, I hope you have a great Sunday. And I'm off to grade now while I edit and upload this video. So wish me luck with the grading. And I will see you next week. Bye, everyone.